How's everyone doing? Welcome to the final episode of After the After Hours with your boy TraderPrad. The final day of this week is tomorrow going to be a free fall Friday. Now get ready for tomorrow. Powell going on the microphone. Powell going on the microphone again. Get ready for tomorrow. So I do have a watch list ready, but if you guys are ready, hit that like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you guys for all the love. Thank you guys for all the support. This is your boy TraderPrad. TraderPrad. But if you guys are ready for this show to get started, why don't we dive into the full screen and hit that like and subscribe. Yo, chat, what's up? How's everyone doing today? No webcam today, but I got caught up in just for a second. What the hell am I watching right now? Like, what in the world did this guy just tag me to? This guy just tagged me to him making an explosive device on Twitter? What? And make good my what? This guy's on this guy's deranged. Okay, never mind. I don't know what's going on, chat, but some guy could be a bot, honestly, could be a robot, because I just scanned his Twitter page and he was tagging the same video to a bunch of people. Very weird content right now I had to go through, but let's ignore that and let's talk about what we're here for. We're here for the market. We're here for talk about my shitty trades on the day. We're here to talk about how the market will potentially move tomorrow and how we can take advantage of it as a day trader, also as a swing trader, but more importantly day trader. Now, most of you who are watching the thumbnail on YouTube or if you're watching it on other social medias like Kick, Twitch, or Twitter, the title tells you exactly what the topic is. It's about how U.S. military potentially going into a war, or at least going to help out Israel, and that could shake things up. And obviously, if U.S. military is going into war kind of contentions or possibilities, then market taking a little bit of a dump off of that news and pushing right back to the south side. Everything we gained for the last few days, we basically gave it all the way back, and not what you want to see when you are looking to initiate swing trade positions for the long side. But overall, I think what we did see from the market recently is very bullish. The market was shaking off most of this Middle East tensions and most of the scare. Pullback, I guess, makes sense given how Trump wants to maybe get involved now. So that pullback does make sense. But overall, I'm in positions like Palantir and Robinhood and so on. I'm in the money, so hopefully that doesn't affect me too much on the swing trading. But already we're getting affected a little bit from Nvidia, from Amazon, and so on, as they're getting pulled back with the overall market pullback. So that's the state of my swing trading currently. But I do have my beautiful day trade here to show you guys. Let's talk about this amazing trade today. AMD. Yesterday, AMD had a monster long. I mean, realistically, there was no setup that you could have taken advantage other than the pre-market high breakout. So maybe you take the pre-market high breakout. If you are a little crazy, you could potentially also take the opening 5-minute candle high. Some people call that the opening 5-minute range. Usually I don't like to call that a range. It's just the opening 5-minute candle high. For a range, I want to see something excuse me, chat, having a quick little sneeze over there. For a range, I want to see something more like this, and then a breakout of that would be a range overall. But this is just a 5-minute candle, and that's a pretty wide candle too. So I guess you could have taken that and maybe risked the halfway point of that candle, at which point it never really looked back and you would have been big time in the money yesterday. Today, what really stood out to me was how the stock was behaving in the pre-market compared to the market, compared to Nvidia and some of the other semiconductors. So pretty bullish, above the 200-day moving average, or around the 200-day moving average. And right off the open, the stock actually flushes and then gets bought right back up, pushes to the north side, or actually was over here, pushes to the north side and then pulls back, but manages to hold the intraday VWAP at that moment around $128, and slowly stair steps back towards 130, and eventually does break that 130, but not enough juice, not enough momentum above 130 for the stock to burst through. And I guess we can see why exactly through our good friend Steve actually pointed out a very good point as to why that area was a struggle zone, because if you zoom out, when in doubt zoom out, or I think that's how it goes, when in doubt zoom out. And if you look to the left, you can see how many times the $130 area, it's not exactly 130, it's a little bit of a range over there. You see him, he's actually drawn the box out for us multiple times. It's kind of had trouble going through it, and then afterwards, when it did get through it, it had trouble to get below it, and then eventually got below it, and now it's getting back into that key area. I think yesterday someone Needham, they said price target 140, so the stock is what, $10 away from that price target. So expecting a bigger move than what the stock had in it yesterday and today combined potentially was stupid and not really worth it. There was a trade here that I took advantage of. There was a long right off that VWAP off the 128 hold. Got to move into 130. You're basically making about $1.50, $2 per share on that long. Awesome. But then later on, I tried to take that 130 breakout, which lined up with somewhat around the pre-market area. Took took the 130 breakout, no follow through. I tried it again, no follow through, and sadly turned a nice little winner, very, very tiny winner, into a small loser on the day. And I only had one trade on the day. I didn't really think I wanted to do too much today, given the geopolitical tension, given that the Thursday is a day off, given that there was another reason, FOMC, given that FOMC is tomorrow. I didn't think the market would do a whole lot, and honestly, we weren't doing a whole lot until Trump kind of said there could be war implications, or at least we have to intervene and do something about the Iran nuclear enrichment underground facilities or something along those words. So that kind of obviously shook the market up, brought it right back to the downside, and yeah, I paid the price. Little red day over here to start the week because I didn't trade yesterday, but I'm not worried about it at all. This Friday we have I should say triple witching. It's no longer quad witching. This Friday we have triple witching. That means we have the S&P 500 rebalance. That's gonna bring quite a bit of liquidity and volatility into some names off the open and into the close. That's gonna be fun for me to be taking part in, and obviously options expiry, that's another one. Futures contracts expire, that's another one. So multiple reasons as to why Friday will be a fun event for day traders, especially if you're like a prop day trader such as myself. Thursday being a day off kind of sucks because I like to be in that whole swing, the whole rhythm, continuous mood of trading. So this week was just kind of on and off. Yesterday I didn't trade. Today I only traded one stock and I didn't really win on that one. Tomorrow it's going to be do nothing until FOMC. Thursday day off, and then Friday it's going to be wait for opportunities to show up. So this week is basically an overall write-off in my opinion as a day trader, but there were some good opportunities as for swing trades, so I won't complain about that at all on that side. Okay, so that's that trade for today. Let's talk about some of the hot movers on the day. I asked I asked Grok for the hot movers of the day, and most of them were small cap names, and you also have some of the oil names with the Middle East tensions. You have oil names like Husa, INDO moving to the upside. CERO, this stock went crazy today. It also offered you a backside short. That was a good short somewhere around over here after the halt. That was a good short, but for the long, I don't really know how. Maybe right here, that is kind of the 3-bar play. You could also call that the opening range breakout almost. That's a little bit of better of an opening range over here happening right at 942 candle, and a beautiful move from there on out all the way into $26. So monster move over there. Small cap stocks have been really going nuts recently. The EE candle, the so coined EE candle, for those of you know, if you don't know, then we'll just move past it. The EE candle is basically a whole setup at this point. Just look for the small cap stocks that are trapping the short sellers, and look to get long on them and get short squeeze. Enjoy the short squeeze, enjoy the run to the upside. VERV is not actually like a small cap squeeze name. It's more in the merger and acquisition basket. Eli Lilly is buying out VERV for around $10.50, but also has an extra value of $3 on top of it. So technically the stock could close at $13.50, but it's contingent on some I think it's contingent on some drug that's supposed to be successful. I think when I read, that's what it said, but I have to reread that. But overall, a merger and acquisition name coming into play. ACXP, we kind of took a look at that, didn't really do anything overall. RBNE, yeah, one of my buddies in my trading pods, in the trading Discord server, mentioned this stock. Look at this one. If I remember correctly, this stock went crazy a couple days ago too. Right here, RBNE went crazy a couple days ago, and then today again gave you a nice breakout. Day 3 right past that 9, kind of like a cup. Didn't really have a handle, but kind of a cup. Maybe you could call this a handle over here. Not really sure if that works out like that, but you know, gave you a squeeze move again back to the upside. Short squeeze, baby. Gotta love seeing it. I mentioned Husa to you guys earlier already. HUSAINDO. And other oil names, XOM, CVX, potentially also going to the upside, and you know, with the US Trump potentially getting involved is also going to bring these stocks a little bit higher for those of you involved. RTX, baby, look at the stock now, 150. I called the stock out to you guys on the day before it broke out all-time high. It gave you a dip buy on the next day. This is where I took the day trade, and then right here now you have the stock at 149. I'll be honest, I'm beating myself up for not buying this name for the swing account, but at least my father bought some for the swing account, so that's good. Shout out to my pops for buying some of this name on the swing account, and hopefully he's still holding on to it, because this stock just recently broke all-time high. The chart doesn't look too bad either. Let me just turn on some of my indicators over here. We'll turn that one on and that one. So just now breaking all-time high. You got a fresh catalyst, geopolitical tension catalyst. The stock is only 6 ATR away from the 50-day moving average, and it is a little bit of a slower mover. It only moves about 1.85% average daily range, but you know, if you're trying to swing this, who really cares about it? You got a beautiful chart pattern into an all-time high. The market was very close to breaking its own all-time high before this whole geopolitical tension and before Trump and Elon started calling each other pedophiles. So you know, market was so close to breaking all-time high before all of this craziness started taking place. But at least you have some names over here doing that for you to be involved in. Sadly, it is because of sad news, bad news, I should say. But hey, you know, this is an opportunity over here for those of you who want to take advantage of it. So RTX going to the upside. Oil names, gold names, GLD. Gold names should be going back higher tomorrow. We'll see if it sets up that way. Anything in the after hours, I think GL is the gold futures. Nope, that's Russian gold futures. How do I see gold futures, chat? I don't know how to find gold futures. Anyways, gold obviously something to keep an eye on. Bitcoin, I think, is currently pushing to the downside last time I checked, and still going down. Bitcoin not looking good at all. I mean, eventually we'll see the breakout. Currently pushing back into the 50-day moving average and holding still above the 50-day, which is good. You could call this a wedge also forming. You have a wedge somewhere around here and another trend line to the upside over here, and eventually if the wedge breaks to the downside or to the upside, I think we'll see the resolution play out. With Bitcoin pulling back down, obviously that means MicroStrategy potentially pulling back down. There you see it. Coinbase had a gap up yesterday. Let's go see what Coinbase did today. Inside day makes sense to me. I think markets were pretty much, the market was very close to having an inside day themselves, but obviously Trump kind of ruined that and then took the market back to the downside. So that kind of shook things up completely. I don't really have anything on a big watch list for tomorrow, because the main things tomorrow will be, once again, your oil names, your small cap oil names, your small cap stocks in general that are trying to squeeze short sellers. Pray for EE. Hopefully his mental sanity is okay. Look, I can only hope that one day I'm at that point where I'm losing $1 million a day or so, or at least hopefully I'm not at that point. But EE going crazy at the moment. Praying for his soul, man. Praying for his soul. Overall, you know, once again, small cap stocks, small cap oil names. Earnings basket a little bit dead. You have Aurora Cannabis reporting tomorrow, but really, are we trading ACB tomorrow? Probably not. JBL today was a miss. That's on my fault. I think yesterday we were talking about JBL, but I forgot to look at the chart. forgot to take a look at the chart, and we forgot to see, or at least I should take the blame for this. I forgot to see that JBL was at all-time high and right before its earnings report. So today in pre-market, I didn't have the stock on my watch list at all, so missed the earnings report. And a big monster move right off the open. I think there could be a setup somewhere around 188. The stock basically pulled back to previous all-time high, held it, and then bounced right off of it. So I think there was a setup somewhere here. Maybe also a setup somewhere here around 190, right off the VWAP. For that bigger move to the north side, which it started to have, but then I'm guessing the market going back down kind of killed that overall momentum to the upside on JBL, and missing this trade. Going to have to write up this one for tonight for sure. It'll be in my notes for those if you're interested, in my charts catalog notes. So for sure going to have to figure out how not to miss this next time. I mean, I know exactly how not to miss this next time. It's as simple as don't be stupid and actually look at the stock, which was in your notes overall. So we missed out on that one. Tomorrow, I think we won't miss out on anything. Lazy Boy, is that something to keep an eye out for? I have traded Lazy Boy before as an earnings mover, but if the stock doesn't move in the after hours, do I expect it to do anything intraday tomorrow? Potentially not. The stock is also below its 200-day moving average, and I think I'm just gonna ignore that one and just stick to the nice little basket of stocks that are moving at the moment. The oil names, the defense names. If RTX is holding above 150 tomorrow, that's another continuation long on this one. Obviously, it'll be day 4, not really a setup for a day trade in the Alpha Trends book, the moving averages book. Oh, we got Steve in the Twitter chat. What's up, Steve? Always love seeing the legends show up in my chat. Now I'm actually nervous. I didn't expect Steve to show up in my chat. I'm a little nervous now. RTX, looking forward to see if this one starts to hold above 150. Praz hasn't looked at the chat. I am looking at chat right now, Airy Pages. I haven't looked at chat because I was focused. I had to be focused into what I wanted to talk about before I start going on tangents. I'm very used to reading something in the chat and then just going off on a complete tangent off of that one, like right now. But no, I'm looking at the chat. Hi, Pratt, says John Vaughn. Dieter's in the house. Josh in the house. TH is in the house. Eerie Pages is in the house. How you guys doing? Gold 3401.40. Down 0.16 on Finvest. Thank you, JVS. You're the best. Fair enough. No problem. What does your manager say when you only trade one stock for the day? I think he might be pretty surprised because he's probably used to seeing me trade 1 million stocks in a day, right? Because I usually trade like 13, 14 stocks a day. But recently I've been slowing down a lot. I've been taking less trades, and I've been trying to focus more on setup names. So it's been helping me a lot more. It's been helping me not take stupid trades and bad trades overall, which is good. Did I catch oil today? No, but I'm looking forward to catch it tomorrow. I think the bigger trade is actually tomorrow. Obviously, Trump talking about possibly being involved in the war now. Made market go down and crude futures go up. The VIX is probably spiking up to the upside too. For those of you who watch the TV show Industry, how does it go? Buy the dip, short the VIX, fuck Bitcoin. So basically, anytime VIX goes up, you want to keep an eye out for, obviously, one, volatility going up. Volatility going up means you're going to see bigger ranges in the market, probably the market pulling back a little bit. You can also go use tools like fear and greed. fearandgreedmeter.com to see where the current fear meter is. It's still in the neutral at the moment, but the last time we checked the fear and greed meter, we were pretty close to this side of the spectrum, this side of the scale, and that was right around tariffs, and so on, right? So right now around neutral means like the market's not fully at the fear state, but we could start getting elevated on that, especially when the VIX is above 20. So there was a good rule that I heard yesterday. Shout out to my friends over at Revere Asset Management. You guys should obviously go check out this YouTube channel. I listen to them every single day on my way home at this point. And sometimes if you feel like I'm saying something too smart, it's probably because I'm listening to these young, absolutely talented children. I shouldn't say children. Children is a horrible word. Young, absolutely talented kids who are so smart, you know, smart beyond their years. It's insane how smart these two kids are, Ted and Connor. Obviously you have the CEO and other members of the asset management who give you absolute dimes of knowledge. So listen to these guys. You can see how there's like absolute red bars. I listened to all of their videos and so on. Has been monumental recently for my swing trading and for my day trading also. So go check these guys out. Amazing content overall. And guess what? They're not paying me to promote them. I'm just promoting them because I enjoy their content overall. Okay, so go check them out. Speaking about tomorrow's watch list again. Oh, right. We were talking about the rule that I found out yesterday. The rule that I found out yesterday through the Revere Asset Management boys is the 16 rule. What that basically is you take whatever price the VIX is currently trading at and you divide it by 16, and that is around where the VIX should end up at in 30 days or so. Now obviously this is not something I've tested, but it's not that hard to back test, I guess, right? You just take a look at where the stock was previously trading, or not the stock, the instrument was previously at, and then divide it by 16, and then see if it actually ends up at that place in 30 days after. And if it does, then it's a valid rule. It's a valid rule that you can potentially even trade off of. So keeping an eye on VIX, obviously. Anytime this goes up, it's also a pretty good day trade. UVXY or VIXX. VIXX or UVXY are two instruments that I usually keep an eye on to trade the volatility ETFs or the volatility instrument for anyone interested. Trying to remember if there's anything else. You know what, this is where actually we can use our friends at Centerpoint to help us out. Centerpoint obviously gives us a good little rundown of the 10 best movers of the day. Still in the board or on the board, CoreWeave. So CoreWeave up 8% today. More AI momentum. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. CoreWeave breaking out and continuing to the upside. This is exactly why I drew this line. I can't remember if I drew it yesterday or last week, but you can see how that breakout is now going to possibly bring in more buyers. Some stops of shorts possibly getting triggered, and the question will be, is there buying above this little horizontal slash a little bit of a trend line on the stock? So let's see if CoreWeave can continue to keep squeezing to the upside, burning some stops, and actually go parabolic to eventually catch that parabolic short. I'm guessing Circle doing something similar, and it is indeed. Circle yesterday gapped up, today a little bit of an inside day, but not selling off just yet. So these IPO stocks are still on board. Talking about IPO names, we actually have 2 IPOs tomorrow to be interested for. So we'll do a little bit of a research on those 2 IPOs before we end the stream. So make sure you stick till the end of the stream. So continuing down the watch list through Centerpoint over here, VERV, I talked about that one already, $10.50 with an additional contingent value of $3 per share. APPS, that one had a monster move. What was the news on the stock? Up 56% after reporting better than expected EP. Oh, come on. I didn't even know about this. They reported earnings. They reported actually earnings last night pre-market, sorry, last night after hours, and give you an almost perfect, you know, what's it called? The money trade setup over here. Not really. Yeah, honestly, it gives you the money trade setup for a beautiful long opportunity on this name. Wow, I mean, can't really complain at that point. Beautiful move to the upside on APPS. I wonder if this now counts as a EP. You know, obviously I need to read the report. Pretty decent volume, but you can see how last time the stock brought in volume, you had a high volume close, the stock ran up and then immediately just nosedive right back to the south side, consolidated a little bit above the 200-day moving average, and actually fairly well above the 200-day moving average until the next earnings report, where you're now basically getting above the previous high. So maybe now the stock actually starts to bring in some juice to the upside. I'll be honest, I don't even know what this company does. Digital Turbine, what do they even do? So gotta do some more research, find out how the report actually is. Does this count as an EP? I might even have to you know, ask some of my good friends like Ariel, see what he thinks about APPS, and does that count as an EP? Oh, by the way, if you guys are interested in trade with the Ariel, click on this link over here in my description to join that Discord server, and also a couple of my affiliate sponsors. If you guys are interested in using the same tools that I use to day trade, my affiliate sponsors and the software discounts right over here. Coming back to APPS, monster move, potentially worth keeping an eye on for some sort of a day 2 trade tomorrow. Very bullish, even though the market was selling off. Love to see that. Sunrun getting absolutely smoked. I guess solar names in general were getting hurt today. FSLR gapping down, Sunrun moving to the downside, and basically going into 52-week low. Do I dare say all-time low? I mean, very close to all-time lows at this point. So 52-week low near $5 coming into play. The stock either stays above $5 tomorrow or it doesn't, and that's your setup right there. Either a long off of 5 or a short below 5, and those are kind of the only setups I care about. Nah, not really. If it does pop tomorrow back into today's high, or even today's VWAP, I might be interested for some sort of a short day 2 setup. But you know, this is Sunrun, and I'm not really expecting a big ATR opportunity on this name tomorrow. Probably $1 ATR at best. Usually not the most fun names for me to be involved in. I see Reddit on the watch list. What happened over here? Ooh, Reddit actually broke out successfully, I guess. Well, we can't say successfully just yet, because we do have the geopolitical tensions at the moment that could obviously turn every winning trade back into a losing trade very quickly, depending on how much worse the tensions get. But what I'm seeing is a higher low, somewhat of an inverse bouncy ball, and a nice little breakout on, I guess, news or an upgrade. CFO sells shares and that pops the stock up. I mean, if that's the news that took the stock higher, that's kind of stupid if you ask me. But overall, hey, can't argue with the move on the stock. So you got to break out. If the stock is able to show you buying above the previous resistance areas around 130, potentially could look for more continuation upside. T-Miss, isn't that T-Mobile? It is T-Mobile. T-Mobile going to the downside a little bit, getting back under the 200-day moving average. That could potentially open up a little bit downside on T-Mobile. What's the news on that one? Down 4% after SoftBank reported it was to be selling 4.4 billion shares worth soon. So that is actually a decent news for T-Mobile's downside possibility. So nice little range that it tried to create above the 200-day moving average, and then now breaking below it. So getting below today's low, or popping into today's high, popping into today's VWAP, rejecting somewhere around those areas on T-Mobile might just give you a day 2 short tomorrow, and a very clean short to the downside. So guaranteeing watching T-Mobile. UAL also on the watch list. I think the airlines in general general recently took a hit. Obviously because of the airline in India that crashed. Boeing also pushed to the downside from that overall sentiment. But with the what's it called, with the Middle East tensions, with oil prices going up, usually oil prices going up means airline stocks go to the upside. So you might want to be a little careful with this one. Down 6% amid macro uncertainty. There you go. Travel and rising oil prices. So it's very, very dependent on what's actually happening currently around the world. So you want to be careful day trading this. If you are day trading this, you might want to use stops. I think there is a pretty simple setup over here. If United Airlines does get under 72.50, there could open some room could open up back to the downside. That could be a good day trade for it to be involved in, but you know, I wouldn't doubt if the stock is actually gapping up tomorrow with oil prices going up higher also. So just keep an eye out for it. I think this is actually a pretty good watch list overall in general, just to keep an eye out for tomorrow for some sort of day 2 trades or day 3 trades and so on. Adobe pushing back down. This actually reminds me very much like Okta. So if you guys remember Okta's earnings report, Okta gapped lower, created a beautiful range, and then broke down. However, Adobe didn't really create that big of a range. It gapped lower on the earnings. It's now testing the previous earnings anchored VWAP. Tried to create support around that area. It's also the 50-day moving average. Tried to create support around that area, and looks like it's about to fail at that job. So basically today's low, 381, 382. Let's just say 380. If the stock is holding below 380 tomorrow, there's just simply no long on this name, and that could open up some downside, especially if the market's getting blown out too. So Adobe taking a beating over here, so potentially worth keeping an eye on. I actually like this whole watch list as a watch for tomorrow. CrowdStrike right back to all-time high after stopping me out, going into the 21-day moving average, and right back to all-time high, which is honestly a good thing. You want to see cybersecurity companies, semiconductor companies being bullish, and that's exactly what you saw today, right? AMD, Micron, ARM, semiconductor companies are all looking good at the moment, all but one, Nvidia. Nvidia was the only little bit red today, but most of the semiconductor companies, SMH for example, SOXL, you know, ETFs are looking like they want to go back up. And if these two sectors are going up, then it's going to be hard to really bring the market to the downside. So keeping an eye on how the sector performs. Cybersecurity obviously kind of important these days, especially during war times, because war is more than just militant and air warfare and navy warfare these days. It's also cyber warfare, internet warfare, and so on. So cybersecurity companies also potentially taking a move to the upside. Palantir, man, I gotta see Palantir back above 140 tomorrow. Let's see this bad boy going higher. So that's basically going to be the overall gist of my watch list, or the stocks that I'm going to be keeping an eye on for tomorrow. On top of that is going to be your small cap stocks that I mentioned at the starting of the stream, the small cap PUSAs, the small cap INDOs, and any other small cap stocks that show up on my tools that I use, like Trade Ideas or Traders Insight or Flash Research and so on. So pretty simple setups. You guys already know my trading at this point. You know, simple patterns, looking for patterns on the stock. I actually watched a YouTube video recently which I thought was very good. It was a YouTube video about, let me see if I can find the video. We're not gonna watch it together, but it was a pretty good video that my friend shared with me right here. So let me open it up. This one was this guy builds a simulator for the stock market, and he actually goes about building the simulator in a pretty solid way overall, where what do you call it? The market eventually starts moving around. You can see him struggling through the process. We can see him struggling with trying to create a properly simulated market. Eventually he cracks the code on how to simulate the market, and it looks decent. Now the whole goal is to see if technical patterns is actually legitimate or absolutely bullshit, and what he finds through this whole process is technical patterns are not absolutely bullshit, and he is able to find technical patterns through randomly simulated buy and sell on the stock market that he coded himself. So even in a simulated stock market with the most random buying and selling, those patterns existed. And if those patterns were created for actual markets where actual patterns and everything else kind of came from, then it makes more of a sense why those patterns are just kind of a no-brainer trade. You just take those patterns for how they are. On top of that, if you add the catalyst, if you add R-ball, if you add simple basic teachings that SMB Capital teaches you, simple basic teachings that Lance teaches you, you'll be able to just increase your win rate, cap your downside, and overall grow your accounts. I actually have an awesome tool over here on TradingView that I use sometimes. On at least for the intraday, I use it quite a bit to see. Oh my god, you guys can't even see anything on that. Let me go over here and turn that back off. Hold up, give me a second. Uh-oh, what did I just open? So nice little pattern finder from TradingView themselves, which you can basically take advantage as a swing trader too. You see right here it says you take the breakout long, you get a nice little long opportunity, you get a double top that will possibly keep you away from getting into a new trade and even possibly trimming your positions from the previous trade. It shows you previous targets also from other setups. A head and shoulder over here, which basically failed and never really went to the downside. So just different patterns that you can take advantage even on the swing side over here, and I mainly apply these patterns on the day trade, along with a little bit more, I don't want to say too complex, a little bit more complex than just basic patterns and just taking basic opening range breakouts and so on. So yeah, that's basically the trading. Buddy comes in and asks me to take a look at NBIS. What's up, Barkay? Barkay wants me to take a look at NBIS for sure. I think this one is in the AI basket, right? This is in the AI basket. This is also probably not an American company, because if it says NV, that's usually probably like in a different country, I'm guessing. So NV, Nebius Group. I think I also heard the Revere Asset Boys mention that they bought some of this name recently. Look, if they are buying this name, then that's probably bullish enough for me to look at this name. No, not blindly looking at this name just because they are. Overall, pretty bullish move currently. If you look at the 200-day moving average though, it's basically on an incline down / flattening out. So the sentiment might be changing just now. You had a pretty hard slope to the downside on the 200-day moving average. The 50-day moving average is sloping up, and you're gonna get that cross at the moment. So potentially that cross will be something to keep an eye on. Last time you got that cross, the stock went up from $64 to $87. And then over here you had another big run up. I guess this is actually where the cross actually happened, and then that kind of, you guys get the idea. I think that's called a golden cross, if I'm correct. I could be wrong. Overall, if you're just ignoring that, I think this right here is the important part. The stock was a little extended from the 50-day moving average, but now it's pulling back, holding the 9-day EMA, and showing you buying above the 9 EMA, showing you buying around the previous resistance. So this is bullish for me overall. Any buying and any support showing up in this area is bullish, and that could be potentially good for me to join for a swing trade if the stock actually, let's say, creates a good little support range, flags out over here. You don't want to see too big of a flag, but if it creates the perfect flag over here, then a breakout of 55 could just be because of the golden cross, and then you get the monster move on the stock. It's in that AI basket. You're seeing AI stocks already go insane, so it might just be worth keeping an eye on. And I'm glad that you mentioned this because you know, I'm going to set some alerts on this one for myself for the future and make sure that you know, we have the stock on the basket. Reddit also, you know, obviously Reddit going higher. Reddit is it's also in the cryptocurrency kind of sector, honestly. Not that it is a cryptocurrency stock, but it's kind of in the cryptocurrency sector. So with Bitcoin going down, that could also bring down Reddit. So you might want to be careful with that overall. I think we have good enough names for tomorrow to talk about already, and we'll leave it at that. Okay, time to go look into the new IPOs for tomorrow. We got 2 new IPOs, Kai and Slide. There is another one, HCHL, Happy City Holdings. Oh, wait, no, wait. I think I know what Happy City is. Isn't that the place where you buy balloons and so on? Happy City Holdings? Ah, it's not. Never mind. In hot pot restaurants with focus on Thai and Japanese style under the brands Thai Pot and Gui Gui Shabu Shabu. They're based in Hong Kong and are operating and have been operating for 5 years. The company recently filed for a $6 million US public IPO. Are they legitimate? Any Chinese in the chat that know if these companies are legitimate, if they are making money, or you know what, we'll actually be able to find out right now. Let's dive into it. We'll look into Happy City Holdings too. We basically have 3 IPOs tomorrow, starting with Kai, C-A-I. Kai Life Sciences. What do you guys do? Leading patient-centric next generation AI. That's it. That's exactly what you want to see. AI tech bio company and precision medicine pioneer. We develop and commercialize, innovate solutions to transform healthcare through the use of comprehensive molecular information and artificial intelligence, machine learning algorithms at scale. Our entire portfolio of precision medicine solutions is designed to benefit patients with an initial focus on oncology and serve the clinical, academic, and biopharma markets. So basically, you have no clue what you want to do is what I'm hearing. Our current commercial products portfolio is focused on oncology and consists of MI Profile, our tissue-based molecular profiling solution that has generated the majority of our revenue. Oh, they do have revenue, never mind. And Caris Azure, our novel universal blood-based molecular profiling solution that has been broadly launched in the first quarter of 2024 for therapy selection. Okay, so not as BS as I thought. Let's continue finding a little bit more about it. So they are growing from 2023 to 2024. They grew by 34%, and you can see they're still growing at the moment. Let's continue reading. Deal size about 500 million. They're giving 23 million shares to the public offering. IPO is expected to be around overall valued of $5 billion. So this is not a small company. Do they have a PE ratio? They do not. So they're not profitable, but they are growing at least by 30% from the last time we saw overall. So that's good numbers if you ask me. And AI is good. They're not a pre-revenue company. That's what makes them even better. They're not pre-revenue like most of these biosciences, AI biosciences companies are. So they make revenue, they have a product on sale, and they are, apparently according to them at least, the product is widely used. So we're going to take their word for now, and I think this might be a company for sure worth watching for the IPO open. So possibly opening around, I want to say $30 or so, and then we'll see if buyers can come in and hold 30, or if sellers come in and break below 30. Not saying that it's going to actually open at 30, but somewhere around that area is what I'm expecting the stock to do. Next one, Slide Insurance, already makes that stock very boring as an IPO company. Usually insurance companies and bioscience IPOs are boring, but because these are decent sized and because recently we've had some IPOs go absolutely bonkers, doesn't hurt watching them. Doesn't hurt watching them at all. Let's see what this one does. Launched in 2021. Are you China? No, you're not China. Technology enable fast growing coastal specialty insurer. We focus on profitable underwriting of single family and condominium policies in the property and casualty industry. Okay, coastal cities along Atlantic seaboard through our insurance subsidiary Slide Insurance Company. We utilize our differentiated technology and data-driven approach. I mean, come on, that's okay. We acquire policies from both inorganic block acquisitions and overall is just another insurance company, run-of-the-mill insurance company with 400 employees. Okay, since 2021. Let's continue seeing a little bit more about it. They are on the verge of small cap, about 1 billion market cap. They do have a PE, which is, I guess, not as surprising. They are an insurance company, and insurance companies obviously scam you for every penny you have. So they do have a PE, so they are profitable, and their PE is actually not that bad at all. 8 PE is mamma mia, very good. Okay, so if you are looking to buy this company on IPO, you are basically getting it for a very, very cheap price. They're also growing by an insane amount. Wow. They're growing from 2023 to 24 by 80%, and from 24 to 25 possibly not, they're not growing by 80%, but they're still growing. So growth is diminishing quite a bit in 25, but still growing overall. And I guess this stock could easily open also around $30, $30 to $40, especially if the market is bullish and we're seeing some bullish hype across the board on QQQ and the S&P 500, and all of this tensions in the Middle East are dying down. Fingers crossed, that's how the market sets up. But we already know that's not how the market's setting up at the moment. SLDE, CAI were the two that we wanted to take a look at. Men's was a $20 million IPO that I didn't take a look at today. Join Boytech. What did you do today, Men's? I mean, just straight down. IPO halt straight down to the south side. Insane. Gotta love seeing it. So that's exactly why I love trading IPOs. So Men's, we missed out on that one today. Didn't even know it existed. HCHL. You know what I'm realizing recently is some of these stocks, they disappear and they come back on the morning of, but not on the day before. So make sure you're also scanning the IPO calendar on the morning of each day, so make sure to see if something new pops up. So I'm gonna scan tomorrow again. And HCHL, last one, we kind of looked at what they are, but I still need to see if they are growing or not. $6 million company. Profile, we realized that they own a hot pot company overall, small cap. PE 86, so a little expensive but profitable nevertheless, and growing also, so growing from 23 to 24 by 22%. But I mean, their PE is kind of insane. They're Singaporean, they're not actually Chinese. Singaporean company, and maybe they just own, I guess it says Thai pot, and Gui Gui Shabu Shabu doesn't sound Chinese to me. It does say what is this? We operate 3 restaurants located in the new territories in Hong Kong. I guess Hong Kong's not China, right? Hong Kong's not China. But Singapore, Hong Kong, kind of all over the place at the moment. Not really sure how I'm gonna see this one play out, but if 2 IPOs tomorrow, which there are opening up in some sort of a hype, I think this one would open up with some hype also, and then we could see if there's more selling or more buying. Simply trading chart. You're simply trading chart on the stock, or I should say tape on the stock. Let me show you an example of how you'd be doing that on an IPO. Let me quickly pull up an IPO from last week. Once again, all of these charts can be found. Hello? How do I open this picture? Well, it won't let me open the picture, so I'll just bring in my charts over here. So right here, you can see right off the open, you can look for breakout longs, some nice consolidation, some short opportunities, some pullback into the lower day, and then another leg breakout. So basic trade setups. If you're just reading tape, if you're just reading the chart, you'll be able to find trades. And thankfully, we have 3 IPOs tomorrow. And that's basically it. Nothing else to talk about. We do have FOMC tomorrow. I think FOMC expectations, everyone knows at this point, we are not expecting an interest rate cut tomorrow at all, especially if we're going into war tomorrow. So I'm not going to even talk about a surprise rate cut, because I just don't think it's on the table. Just simply not on the table at all. And I think the story of the day tomorrow will be, for the most part, how the war tensions play out, how the Middle East conflicts tensions play out. You do have the 2:30 conference call, not conference call, sorry, but the 2:30 Powell on the microphone. The questions will be asked, see if they're dovish responses or bullish responses, or hawkish responses, I mean, sorry. So those will obviously impact the market a little bit, but I think for the most part, it's just going to be the conflict tensions, oil moving, gold moving. The IPOs are possibly something that are going to be very, very easy trades tomorrow, besides the other nonsense on the market. So for sure, keep an eye on IPOs as a day trade at the very least. And last but not least, the econ calendar. So let's just quickly show you guys what's in store tomorrow. Tomorrow, besides the FOMC at 2 o'clock and the meeting at 2:30, you have the jobless claims at 8:30, crude oil numbers at 10:30. That'll be pretty interesting. Crude oil numbers at 10:30, jobless claims at 8:30, some housing numbers also at 8:30, and then obviously FOMC at 2 o'clock, and then conference call at 2:30. So that is basically your econ calendar for tomorrow. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, no stream tomorrow because Thursday market's closed, and then Friday we have a full day on the market. So let's have some fun tomorrow. Let's make some money, and hopefully we're not getting recruited to go to war. Good luck on the markets. I'll catch you guys next week. Have fun. Bye-bye. Get ready for the watch list for tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm gonna bring in my big screen over here, back to another brand new week of After the After Hours with your host TraderPrad. I'm doing great. Hopefully you guys are joining me on that great side. Markets are moving around. Might just be a risk on type of day, so let's see what happens. 8 o'clock tomorrow. As you guys know, we do the stream Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Shout out to my affiliate sponsors, Benzinga, Trade Ideas, the #1 scanner to go to, Trader Sync, promo code down below, promo code PRAD15 to get 15% off. I will catch you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock, same time, same place. Until then, TraderPrad out. Adios.